going on, everybody? This is TrixX Smash. Welcome back to yet another online Elite Smash match. And buddy, you look incredible today. Just in case no one's let you know, buddy, hopefully you're having a fantastic day. What we do on this YouTube channel is take your comments, yes, the comments from the viewers, and turn your comments into videos and answer your questions. So if you're someone who has a question you want to have it turned into a video, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, leave a comment, and I'll turn it into a video. So today's question comes from a player named Tart, and his question is, why do certain characters get so much hate even if they themselves are a bad character? Let's say, for example, he says he plays DDD, and he also talks about Zelda. There are characters such as Zelda or DDD, or I'll even say like Little Mac. Why do these characters get so much hate even if the character is sometimes easy to beat or is in fact just a bad character? So I'll explain this in the way that I know how to. A character typically gets hate in one of two scenarios. The number one scenario is a character gets hate when they themselves are broken and it feels like they can win super easily without putting in effort. That's number one. Number two is when a character is super annoying to fight against, even if you can beat them. And the thing is, what makes a character annoying to fight against is that that character has a singular game plan that works or doesn't work in every single scenario. And when I say like works or doesn't work, that sounds like it's pretty fucking obvious because it either works or it doesn't. But what I mean by that is that if that player strays away from that game plan, it is guaranteed to not work. So they have to do that game plan. So for example, if you're fighting against a Little Mac, or you're fighting against a Banjo or a Zelda or any of these characters, the thing about these characters is that you know what they're going to do. And they are basically hoping, whether they know this or not, they are hoping that it just works. They're hoping that whoever's fighting against them doesn't know how to deal with their gimmick or their one-dimensional gameplay, and it just works for them. And against some characters, it is borderline unstoppable. I will say, if you're someone who plays as Zelda, and I've talked about it in the past, if your go-to is fucking neutral B for everything, yes, it is beatable. But while you get to do what you want and push neutral B till the end of time, I have to adjust to you. If you try to adjust to me, you will lose. If you do what you have to do, which is push neutral B in every situation, you have a chance of winning. If I don't adjust, I will lose. When a character basically says, play the game that I am providing to you or you don't have a chance of winning. Also, by the way, side note, the game is not fun for either of us. That is what makes people hate a character. I'll say a character like Mega Man, or I'll actually even say a character like Snake. A character like Snake is hated by a lot of people because you know that the game is get around my grenades. If you can't get around my grenades, you fucking lose. If you can get around my grenades, then you'll probably win. But here's the thing, if a Snake player ever plays without using grenades, he is basically guaranteed to lose. And so his character design has failed the player from using creativity. I will say that there is such a thing as creative setups. There are creative setups with Snake and with Zelda and with some of these other characters. I'll even say Little Mac does have some creative things on platforms with like down tilt into jab lock, down air setups and stuff like that, but they're probably not going to do that. Those are more like the icing on top or the cherry on top of a particular character's playstyle, but the majority of what they're going to do is dash around in F tilt, or neutral B with Zelda, or throw out grenades with Snake, and that's basically it. And if the player does not do those things, which is how the character is designed, then they're probably gonna lose. And what makes players get upset with other players or give you a bad reputation when you use these characters is that the player instinctually says, if you played any other character and you did what you just did with that character, or with your main character, let's say Zelda or Little Mac or any character like that, you would fucking lose. And they're basically calling out your intelligence to say that you don't have the ability to adapt or adjust or come up with a different play style. And unfortunately, there is some truth to this, and I've seen it quite a bit. There are players out there that'll play a character like Snake or like Min Min because their neutral is so bad. And here's the thing, and I've heard people say this out loud as well too, I can't suck at neutral if I don't have to play it. Take that in. I can't suck at neutral if I don't have to play it. So there are characters who will simply run away. Sonic 101. I can't get whiff punished if I don't interact. And so it causes hatred. You'll notice that there's a pattern when somebody says, oh yes, finally I get to fight against a Captain Falcon. Why do people love to fight Captain Falcon? The reason why people like to fight Captain Falcon, even if they lose, is because if the Falcon kills you, it's because he actually did something. He took a risk, he went in, he tried to style on you, he jumped off stage, he tech chased you, he did something. He didn't sit back and shoot the entire time. He did not have a combo breaking move that is brain dead, that gets him out of literally everything, and he just spams it because if he doesn't, then he'll obviously lose. He has to space, he has to have combos, he has to have tech chasing, he has to be at least a decent player. Yes, the character is strong, and of course, every character has their cheese, like a frame 24 up smash is -6 and unpunishable in a lot of cases for a lot of characters, but I will still say that a lot of people would rather fight against Captain Falcon. And to talk about your character DDD just for a second here, it's not that people hate DDD, it's more so they hate how he is forced to play, because I know how every DDD plays. They all play the exact same way. They use all of their jumps in neutral, and they float above your head and wait for you to make a mistake, then they come down with a nair, and they either panic with an up tilt or a down tilt. If they happen to force you into, let's say, trying to jump and catch them, and they happen to miss, and you come down with a back air. Every single time. If they don't approach, then you go for your Gordo and you try to engage with some sort of projectile. And the problem isn't that it works, it's more so that it becomes an uncomfortable truth that you've given into the idea of playing a one-trick character. The problem is that it's a one-trick character that is also bad. Is it beatable? Of course it's beatable, but people don't want to do one-dimensional defense for the entire game. It's not fun to count your jumps and wait for you to jump in with something that is unsafe and then punish you. It's incredibly boring to do. But here's the thing, since the character is considered to be a bad character, you get a pass. If it's Steve and people have to walk up and tilt your blocks and then hold shield and wait for you to jump at them with a minecart and then try to get away from that and then you run away and reset, Steve gets hatred. He gets considered to be a bullshit character and also is annoying because his one-dimensional gameplay is borderline unbeatable by a lot of characters. DDD's gameplay is beatable by a lot of characters, but people don't want to do it. So is the hatred towards you on a personal level warranted? Absolutely not. I would say it's absolutely not warranted. You should not hate a player at all. You can hate how a character is designed though, I will say. And the same thing goes for a lot of characters. I'll say a character like Luigi. I say his name and you know exactly what he's gonna do. If you touch him at all, he's gonna use his tornado. And if you get close to him at all, he's gonna try and grab you. And he's gonna try and do a 0 to death. So the game against Luigi is, don't get grabbed. If you get grabbed, you're fucking dead, just like this. And so for a lot of people, it's not fun because what's going through their mind is, what about my character and what I want to do? What about my threats as a character? What about my combos that I practice? I just don't get to do anything that I want? Yep, that's correct. You don't get to do anything that you want because some characters entirely nullify yours. But not only that, they also nullify your character in a boring, long way. If I get destroyed by a character in 2 minutes and I get 3-stocked, that is way more fun than losing to a character that takes me to time, because if I interact, I will lose in 2 minutes. I want to lose because you have the ability to beat me, not because I fell into your trap that was so fucking boring to play against. Samus. And so the last part of your comment, Tart, is that you said, if it's so easy, why don't you do it? Why don't other people play as your character and do it if it's so easy to do? Problem is not that it's easy or hard, it's more so that it's one-dimensional and it's very boring to do. They don't have the patience when they do have the creativity or skill to play as a different character that takes more. But the thing about Smash as well too is you do not get rewarded for having more skill. I will say this is absolutely true. There are some characters that take tremendous skill, whether it's combos or spacing or edge guarding or tech chasing or all these things, and they have the ability to get kills in a multitude of different ways, but that multitude of different ways is also very hard. Because you have the ability to get kills in 500 different scenarios, that also means that you have to know 500 different scenarios. If I can just kill you with electric into up B with Kazuya, I'm just gonna do that. I'm just gonna do that every single time, and it's very brain dead and very boring. If it's so easy, why don't I do it? So I guess a lot of people could just do electric into up B or up smash or whatever it might be with Kazuya, but like I had mentioned, it's not about it being hard or easy. It's about the fact that it's so one-dimensional, and you get hate because it's like you as a player have put thousands of hours into hitting a ceiling in your gameplay. Not only hitting a ceiling, reinforcing that ceiling, then building another ceiling underneath and above that, to say, if you can't beat this one thing that I've been doing for 4 fucking years, then you are gonna lose. And I'll say as a small aside as well too, because a lot of people don't like Falco, and I'm not gonna try and glaze Falco as a hard character whatsoever. He is actually quite easy. He's one of the easier characters in the game, especially his combos. But I will say that I actually tried playing as Banjo last night on stream, and it was one of the easiest things I've ever done. I actually destroyed the player I was playing against when I myself have probably played Banjo for a total of possibly 60 games total since he's come out, which has been quite some time. But here's the thing, I, as a player who has tremendous tech chasing and ledge trapping and spacing and decision making and the ability to make reads, when you give me Wonder Wing, the character is fucking broken. All the struggle that I have with Falco when he has no sword, he's quite slow, does not have kill throws, his kill confirms are basically impossible online. Instead of doing all the things I have to do with Falco, and I will say the same thing for someone who plays Sheik or Marth or any of these other characters as well too. Why is it that I can now become a way better player when you give me a very fucking easy character like Banjo? When I have the ability to kill you at 90 at the ledge, or should I say 70 at the ledge, depending on the character with Wonder Wing, and I don't waste it like a dumbass idiot because I have actually perfected my skills as a player. How is that fun? I don't want to pick up your character and do it because it's so easy. I want to try hard, and I also want you to have to try hard, but unfortunately, and here's the thing, this is where I'm on your side, the game is not necessarily meant to be hard. If you can shit on somebody in a one-dimensional way, then just do it. Tell them to stay mad. I'm 1000% on your side. If they're going to give you hate, then that is their problem entirely. I will say that there is no such thing as light without dark. So if they're going to give you hate, just realize that they might be right. It might be really fucking easy, but at the same time, just laugh in their face and say, too bad. This is how I wanted to play. This is how I chose to play, and you chose to play like that. And unfortunately for you, the way that I've chosen to play is not only smarter, but it's easier, and I'm reaping the benefits of that. So if you don't like it, then that is in fact too bad. If you hate me, then that's how it is. I know this video is more of a rant than necessarily answering the question, but I will say this is kind of the only way that you can go about this particular topic. But if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I will see you guys in the future. Have a good one.